Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. So, since we were on vacation, I really got behind in my updates, and so I wanted to give you a few of them today as we kind of pick back up and continue on with our updates and stuff of the things that are going on in the world. So this is an article that was posted in my local news, which happened in my town here in Washington, and I want to go ahead and read this for you. And it kind of shocked me when I was reading it, but it shouldn't. Nothing should shock me anymore. But this is interesting. So it says, this was on Thursday, so July 2nd, I believe it was. And it says, statement on COVID positive individual on civil health hold. Yesterday, an individual was brought into the downtown jail via ambulance after being put on a civil health hold issued by a regional health district officer. This individual has tested positive for COVID-19. According to the order issued by Dr. Lutz, this individual refused to cooperate with voluntary isolation instructions and presented a direct threat to the community. The Board of Commissioners and Director Mike Sparber are distressed about this forced action. However, the sentiment was shared by Dr. Lutz and the hospital leadership where this individual was previously held. Dr. Lutz and the director, Mike Sparber, attempted to find more appropriate housing for this individual, offering alternative options, which included offering corrections officers as guards at the hospital or sending him to a more appropriate isolation facility. These efforts were not successful, and it was determined that this individual would be brought to the downtown jail and housed under the medical care of the jail to protect the community. The Regional Health District and Detention Services will continue to work on finding a more appropriate facility for this individual. Dr. Lutz's health order is valid from July 1st of this year until July 11th at 0800 hours. If the need arises for a longer forced quarantine, Dr. Lutz will have to petition the court, and the court order will need to be sent to the jail. Jail staff are following strict protocol already in place for COVID-19 precautions. However, when interacting with this individual, corrections officers are taking increased measures with PPE and sanitation. So let's say you have a cold, because like I was saying, how they had a broad thing, a broad symptom chart. And they have a lot of people who are taking tests and who are getting false positives. And let's say, you have a false positive. What if you don't, want to quarantine? You probably should, but what if you don't want to? That goes against your rights as an American. You can't force somebody to quarantine. You can't force anybody. And so now they're not only forcing you to quarantine, but they're also jailing you if you refuse to. And he is demanded to be in jail for a length of time by a doctor. This doctor is the one that turned him into the medical board and sent him to jail. And if he deems fit, he will get a court order to have this person placed in jail for longer than what was specified. This is crazy, okay? They're already starting this. And then here in my town also, I think I posted it up on my community. I can't remember, or maybe it was a video that I did. But they're saying if you don't wear a mask in the store, that there will be no service. And that has gone into effect officially today, where they kind of said it before, but it really went into effect today, that if you walk into the store without a mask, you are immediately to be turned away and taken out of the store, and even they're supposed to contact police, and you can be put in jail and have a fine if you refuse to wear a mask. And, this all plays out with the beast system. This is all being forced upon everybody to see how willing they are to relinquish their rights and to just play along with everything. And as far as you can tell, most everybody is falling right into the hands of people in government telling them that they have to do something instead of standing up saying, no, I don't have to do anything. Instead, they're scaring people into the tactic of the beast system. And so we can see how easily people will fall for the mark of the beast. If you don't have this mark, you can't buy or sell. If you don't have this mark, you're not allowed into the store. It's already beginning with the mask. If you don't have a mask, no service. You're not allowed in the store. You're not allowed into the restaurant. Nothing. So this, and now we have the money shortage, where it's going into a cashless society. And I myself personally just came back from vacation where in the store they have a sign that says no cash accepted, that they're taking debit or credit only. That's where we're at. So, we're seeing the precursors to the tribulation already peeking its ugly head right now. So anyways, enough of that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next article. Okay, this one's from End Times Headlines. It's Colorado Attorney General threatens to stop Bible conference. The Colorado State Attorney General attempted to ban Andrew Wommack's ministries from holding in-person gatherings of more than 175 people in accordance with governor's draconian orders, while permitting mass protests with no social distancing other than health precautions. AG Khan sent a cease and desist letter to the ministry in an attempt to shut down its Bible conference held at Charis Bible College on the last day, as well as any future conferences. Liberty Counsel is representing Andrew Wommack's ministries. The Attorney General stated that the ministry must cancel the remainder of the conference that ended on July 3rd, in addition to the July 4th celebration. However, on June 26th, Andrew Wommack and his executive team met with Teller County and Woodland Park Public Health and law enforcement officials to review and discuss the hosting of a safe and large faith-based gathering. As a result, the ministry submitted an updated plan in which the county offered further recommendations that were acceptable to the ministry. The ministry officials received a cease and desist order from the state while working closely with Teller County Public Health in order to hold the Bible conference on July 4th events while keeping the ministry's guests and community as safe as possible. Okay, and then moving on really quick, this comes out of California, and the title of it is Without Blinking an Eye, California Passes Bill to Fund Sterilizing Kids. I'll briefly read through this. It says, without hesitation or debate, the California Assembly voted overwhelmingly today to set up a fund using taxpayer dollars to give minors and adults across sex hormones and surgeries that will permanently destroy their reproductive systems. According to author Assemblyman Miguel Santiago, a Democrat of Los Angeles, AB 2218 establishes an LGBT transgender wellness fund to provide grants to nonprofit hospitals, healthcare clinics like Planned Parenthood, and other medical providers that supply puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones for minors, as well as cross-sex hormones and sex change operations for adults. Originally, the bill asked for $15 million to start the fund, but that amount was recently moved from the bill text. Now the exact amount added to the fund will be decided by the legislature at a later date. According to Dr. Quentin Van Meter, a broad certificate pediatric endocrinologist who testified against AB 2218 in the Assembly Health Committee's studies show children who are treated with cross-sex hormones for their gender confusion have significant mental health issues that remain even after hormone therapy. Van Meter warned legislators that the state would be sued in the coming years for funding transgender affirming treatments for troubled and vulnerable children because they destroy healthy body tissue, sterilize the recipient, and cause irreversible damage. Okay, this one comes from Breaking Israel News, and it says, rare plant used by Moses in Bible could be cure for COVID-19. Despite the massive global effort, no cure or vaccine has been found for the coronavirus. Instead, the dialogue surrounding the pandemic has turned into a pitched battle, pitting Bible believers against those who claim that science contains all the answers. So it is a powerful testimony to the timeless wisdom of the Bible when a story in the Bible includes a detail that not only bears a moral message, but also contains a clue to a possible treatment for a modern malady, a natural anti-malarial like hydrochloroquine that is being tested as a treatment for coronavirus. The biblical source is in Exodus 15:22 through 26. The Bible describes how directly after crossing through the miraculously divided Red Sea, the children of Israel were distressed at being without water for 3 days at the desert of Shur. They came to a place called Marah, or bitter, presumably a spring or well, but could not drink the water as it was bitter. After praying to God, Moses was shown a piece of wood that he threw into the water, thereby sweetening the water. Jewish sources note that the wood was a plant that was bitter by nature, thus emphasizing the miraculous transformation. Rather than turning more bitter with the addition of the bitter plant, the water became sweet. Mardosh Tanhuma, a collection of literature, suggests that the wood might have been an olive branch, a willow branch, a pomegranate branch, or an oleander branch, all known for their extreme bitterness. Oleander would have been a very shocking additive since the desert variety is poisonous to animals. Rabbi Moshe al-Shiach, a prominent 16th century Torah scholar who lived in Safed, suggested a different species of a tree, I can't say these words, Dudakia, known in the Bible, which means curse in Hebrew. Many know the plant by its more common name as wormwood. Rabbi wrote that the incident was a parable that would teach the Jews an important lesson about the Torah they were about to receive at Mount Sinai. Just as adding bitter to bitter, creating sweet water, was counterintuitive, many of the Torah laws were counterintuitive, but would sweeten their lives nonetheless. Wormwood being tested to treat COVID-19. Another quinine derivative used in the treatment of malaria has become both a hope and a source of debating during the recent pandemic, hydrochloroquine. And like hydrochloroquine, the wood that Moses threw into the bitter waters is now being tested as a possible treatment for COVID-19. It's kind of a long article, so I won't continue that. I'll post a link for it so that you can continue to read it for yourself. I thought that was kind of interesting. God gave Moses power through that wood, so could it be possible that God will continue to use that particular wood to heal his people and heal his land? I believe so. All right, let's see if there's any other articles before I sign off.
Hashem spoke to Moshe and Aaron, saying, "This is the statute of the Torah, which Hashem commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and have them take for you a perfectly red, unblemished cow, upon which no yoke was laid." Five years ago, the Temple Institute began its Raise a Red Heifer in Israel project. Just under 2 years ago, we announced the birth of our first red heifer candidates, 2 perfectly red heifers eligible for the historic role of being the red heifer who returns to Israel after 2,000 years the ability to achieve the highest level of Torah purity. Since their birth, the rabbinic experts of the Temple Institute have been keeping a close watch on these heifers for any non-red hair that a heifer sprouts or any minor injury that the heifer sustains will disqualify it from being a kosher red heifer. This past week, June 2020, we visited our two most advanced red heifers and filmed them. In the upcoming weeks, they will receive another visit from the Temple Institute's experts for yet another close inspection. Should either or both of these red heifers remain eligible candidates, we will soon be ready to advance toward the stage of actually preparing the ashes. How wonderful to imagine that these two innocent, unsuspecting creatures could, in the very near future, advance Israel and the world to the next stage of the redemption and the building of the Holy Temple.
Okay, that last one was from the Temple Institute talking about the red heifer that they have in place. That was from June 20th of this year. And the last one that I have is off of The Blaze, and it's the activists set up guillotines in front of Jeff Bezos' DC residence, demand Amazon be abolished. I did post this on my community, but I'm not sure how many people actually saw it, so I'll briefly read through this. It says a group of protesters erected a small guillotine in front of the Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos' Washington, D.C. residence over the weekend during an event called for the abolishment of Amazon along with police and prisons. Reporter Drew Hernandez posted video online Sunday showing footage of a demonstration held in front of Bezos' complex. One speaker can be seen telling the gathering, "When they become threatened and we have no voice, the knives come out." A poster placed in front of the guillotine read, "Support our poor communities, not our wealthy men." The demonstration was organized by a group calling themselves Abolish the Present, Reconstruct Our Future. I'll read that again. The demonstration was organized by a group calling themselves Abolish the Present, Reconstruct Our Future. Who does that sound like? A promotional flyer for the event read, "Amazon works directly with police to survey us, stoking racist fears in the name of profit, doubling down on their union busting and mistreatment of workers." Amazon fired and radically slandered labor organizer Chris Smalls. Join us and tell Jeff Bezos enough is enough. Okay, it concludes the end the abuse and profiteering. Abolish the police, the prisons, and Amazon. Yeah, that's crazy. Guillotines are popping up everywhere, and I believe they're meant to make people used to seeing them or make them feel like it's just a hoax. Remember, like I was saying not long ago, it's just, part of the protest. It's just a hoax. It's getting people used to seeing this stuff put around. But it's interesting how they're all of a sudden starting to pop up all over the United States. And we know that they have real ones, and they have smart technology where they can do it by computer and sever many heads with the same blade. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. Let's see. I think that was it. Everything else is kind of old that I have, old news. So I'll keep updated with the updates now that we are home, and I will leave that with you guys, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.